Hello everybody and welcome to episode 2 of the Colin Higgins vlog. Now, I've been thinking in the last couple of weeks about what vlogs I could do, what places I could go, what events I could attend. And of course, as we know, the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, unfortunately attending events is not going to be something we're going to see for a while by the sounds of things. So I've decided to continue the vlogging here at home. I got a very positive response to my first one, the introduction. And I want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you that first of all viewed the video and shared it for me across social media. I got a good response, so thank you very much for that. So I was thinking about how to continue this vlog at home and thinking about, if I'm going to be sitting in front of a camera for a while, what I could talk about. So in the first video, the introduction, I explained to you about how I am a wannabe motorsport journalist and how I'm studying at home here to get a freelance journalism qualification and hopefully move up to the ranks of having a full-time job with it. So I decided to mark the beginning of this vlogging journey. I'd go back to where it all began for me and how it began as an ultimate surprise. Came out of nowhere. Hit me like a fucking, excuse the language, cursing's not good, but it hit me like a big massive Arctic truck. So it did, literally, because I did not see this coming. So yeah, I'm sure you're sick of hearing it by now, but this is the story of how Daniel Ricciardo started my journalism career. Now, this took place in the lovely summer of May 2018. Me and a mate of mine had gone over to Barcelona for the Grand Prix. It was my first time on a plane, so it was my first time properly leaving the country. I was in Silverstone the year before, but you know the way England is, it's almost the same as Ireland in the way things go. So going out to Barcelona, going out somewhere foreign, for me, was the first time, was a very big step. So we got to Barcelona for the Grand Prix, and on the Thursday, because we held tickets for the whole weekend, we were 3-day ticket holders in Barcelona. Barcelona is one of the circuits that actually allow you to visit the pit lane on the Thursday before the weekend starts. So me and my mate went out to the pit lane walk on Thursday, and you can understand I was in my element. I was walking up and down the pit lane, looking into all the teams. All the teams were doing their pit stop practices at the time. Really, really cool, and got to see some drivers as well. I actually remember going down to the Mercedes garage and having a look at this guy. He's in team gear and he's standing outside the garage and he's taking photos of the car. And I was like, who's that? I turned around, it was actually Valtteri Bottas. So it was, which was really cool, and he gave us all a wave. He didn't come over, but he gave us all a wave. And I seen other people as well, such as my self-proclaimed journalism hero, Will Buxton. Again, big wave for us and a friendly smile. And I've seen other people as well, such as Federica Masson, Jacques Villeneuve, David De Valasecchi. They're all reporters, not reporters, but presenters for Sky Sports F1 Italia, which was, it's pretty cool just to be in the middle of it and see these guys doing all their respective jobs and, everything leading up to the Grand Prix. And I remember being at the Force India pits when Esteban Ocon actually came out of the garage and came down to the fans. Your usual stuff, autographs, pictures, selfies, things like that. And he was slowly coming down the line, slowly towards me. And he got about 2 people before me, and he got called back into the garage, so he had to go. So I was that close to getting a photograph of the driver, and I was a bit disheartened. After coming so close, I just wanted a picture with a driver. I didn't necessarily care who. I've always said I don't have a particularly favourite driver. I just really enjoy the sport as a whole. But yeah, I was a little bit disheartened. To get that close, it was a bit, it was a bit of a tease. So anyway, I had a good time at the pit lane walk anyway. It was a great day. And upon leaving the venue to meet with my mate outside, I went through the F1 store and I picked up a replica of Daniel Ricciardo's 2018 Red Bull cap. He was still at Red Bull at the time. It was his last year at Red Bull with the team before he moved to Renault. And I was chuffed with it, I was going around all weekend, Red Bull number 3, Daniel Ricciardo, really happy with it. So to cut the long story short, me and my mate, of course, first night in Barcelona, we went out, we got a bit mad, we got a bit drunk. Great atmosphere, great friendly people in Spain. Barcelona, fantastic city. If you ever think about going, it's amazing. I love it. I love the place. But woke up Friday morning, we were both dying pretty much. So we were both fairly bad. My mate elected to stay in the hotel, and he said, "Look, I'll meet up with you later or whatever." And I said, "Yeah, that's fine. No problem." I went off to the practice myself, and basically the hotel where we stayed in, the Hotel Salas Pear it was called. I picked that hotel because it was a 10-minute walk from there to the bus station for the track. So being in Barcelona, not knowing the city, I wanted to make sure I did things right. And Barcelona is the same as any other city. You have the big huge road in the middle, and then all off is just little off roads. So I was following Google Maps on my phone, and I came to this main road. Google Maps told me cross the road, you get to the bus station. Now I could see the bus station from the road, but this road was like 3 lanes wide on each side. Like you weren't gonna dodge a car across it. Let's just put it that way. So I can think, where am I gonna go? I came up with the idea, walk down the street a little bit, see can you find a pedestrian crossing or a zebra crossing or something. So I was walking down the road. Google was going ballistic and trying to re-navigate itself because I turned the wrong way. And I was one eye on the phone, one eye on where I was going. And there was a row of cars that stopped beside me. The traffic light was red, and I actually noticed as I was walking along an Aston Martin DB11, a lovely navy blue Aston Martin DB11. Now, I didn't really pay much attention to the car itself because, I've been to things like, the Cannon Run and, the stuff in Mondello, and, I've seen all types of Ferraris and Lamborghinis, so, this Aston Martin didn't particularly faze me. That's until I copped what it said on the side of the door. Aston Martin Red Bull Racing. And I started to think, geez, I wonder if that one of the drivers. So I looked at the door, and here's a very familiar face in sunglasses waving out at me. It was Daniel Ricciardo. And he'd copped my cap, and he'd seen me before I seen him, and he was waving. And I decided, I'm going to try my luck here. So I went over to the car, he put down the window, and I just said, "Good morning, Daniel, how are you?" And he says, "Good, mate, He says, "I like your cap, but change your shirt." I was wearing a Ferrari shirt at the time, Red Bull cap with a Ferrari shirt. I know I'll get chastised for it, but, I've been known for my support of multiple teams upon Grand Prix weekends. Last year at Silverstone, I actually got chastised for wearing a Renault shirt with a Ferrari flag. That very Ferrari flag draped around me. People were looking like, who's that mad idiot? Who's he even trying to support? Trying to get as much teams on me as possible. So he wasn't impressed with that. And he had a bit of a laugh, and I took out the phone and said, "Do you mind taking a picture?" He said, "Of course, no problem." And just as I kind of leant into the car to take the photo, the light went green, and his driver, which I presume was his fitness coach, Michael Italiano, I didn't know him at the time, I presume that's who it was, just kind of took off just a little bit. And I just thought, oh shit, I'm going to miss this opportunity. And that's when Daniel turned around to the driver, again presumably Michael. He said, "No, stop the car a minute, we have to take a picture of this man." And he offered to take my phone and take the picture for me, which is really cool. Now, I don't have the picture to hand, it's on my laptop somewhere, but I'm not even going to waste your time trying to look for it. I'm sure you've seen it before. I've plastered it about 1,000 times on my social media, all over the place. So I have people who have actually commented me and said, "Stop posting that picture, we're sick of looking at it." So, chances are you've seen it before. But, I could not believe it. I'm after meeting Daniel Ricciardo. I'm after having a conversation with him. He's after being generous enough to take my phone and take the photo for me. It really meant a lot. And it was the highlight of my whole weekend. So it really was. It was the highlight of my whole weekend. And when I got home the following Monday, that's literally, that's all that's going around my head. Everybody I was talking to, I was telling, I was posting it on my social media, like I said, everywhere, plastering it. I was telling as many people as I could. I just could not believe it. And the only thing that day that I regret is that I didn't get to say thank you. So I didn't, because he literally just put the phone out the window and they were gone. You know, understandably in a rush trying to get to the circuit. That's the only regret I have about that day, you know. But you know, I decided then, I was like, I want to share this story. You know, I was posting on Facebook, I was sharing it everywhere. I said, I want to share this story because this is such a cool story. This guy is so genuine. You know, he could have kept his window up. He could have said no. He could have pretended like he didn't see me, but he took the time out. And this is pure Daniel. So, you know, going across different things and everything, I found DriveTribe. Now, I had joined DriveTribe when it started. That's why if you search my name in DriveTribe, I have 2 profiles. One is the one I started with, but I never did anything on because I was just reading articles. I didn't know you could post. And the second one, obviously, is my more fully built up to date one. So I got onto DriveTribe and I realised that you could post. Anybody could post articles on this. You know, people could post stories, articles, things they've done, events they've been at. Something's fallen in the hall, jump scare. Creepy noise in this house, don't mind it. But you know, I realised, hold on a minute, you know, and going through school, now, I'll be frank, I did not like school. I hated the place. And that's not due to the school or the teachers. I just generally didn't like school. Never did, never will. But the one thing I did like in it was English. Writing stories, essays, you know, 6-page answers. For some reason, I loved doing it. You know, I loved using my head. I loved playing with words. I always loved it. You know, English was my favourite subject. And I wrote this article, and I will admit, I was kind of bragging a little bit. Who, look at me, I'm a Daniel Ricciardo, you know, type of thing. But I really, again, I wanted to show people just how genuine a celebrity was, you know, like Daniel Ricciardo could be with his fans. And I posted the article. I didn't think anything of it. Shared it out on social media, and it took off. You know, it really took off. The head of Home of F1, which is the tribe on DriveTribe for all your F1 news and bits and bobs, came to me, private messaged me on the site and said, you know, Colin, that's brilliant. You know, I loved your piece. You know, and he approached me about actually writing full time. And I says, wow, you know, I didn't ever think about putting my love for English and my love for racing together. And all of a sudden it just felt right, you know. And constantly, you know, I've thinking up my head about driver moves, cars, circuits, races, you know, and I'm the only person that really likes Formula 1 in my family who knows that about it, so I never really had anybody to discuss it with. And this was a way, you know, this encounter with Daniel Ricciardo had opened up to me a way to discuss the sport I love. And you know, about 2 or 3 days later, I posted a second article about Fernando Alonso. You know, he was racing, coming up to the time he was racing in Le Mans with Toyota. Excuse me. It was coming up to the time he was racing with Toyota at Le Mans for the second time, 2018. No, I'm wrong. The first time. And the whole thing about he staying with McLaren, or would he leave at the end of the year and go to do Le Mans and everything. And I just wrote a general, you know, thought-provoking piece on it. And yeah, again, second article, same thing, took off. I couldn't believe it, you know. All of a sudden, these people were reading my pieces, these people were discussing what I had to say, these people were praising me. And, you know, it just felt right. So it did. And of course, obviously, from my first articles to now, my grammar was all over the place. You know, some articles or some paragraphs didn't form properly, pictures weren't copyrighted, all this thing. But what DriveTribe has allowed me to do is build on that constantly, and I'm still building on it. You know, with each article, it's better and better. And you know, I think DriveTribe was very much the basis of what I'm doing today. You know, and a bit of self-promotion for DriveTribe. I haven't been paid to do so anyway. Just to make that clear, they're not bribing me to do this. But if you are somebody like me who loves discussing sport or cars or anything, or even food, you know, they have a sister company called Food Tribe where you can do exactly the same thing, but with food you need to get onto DriveTribe, and you need to get on it fast, because, you know, you can post anything you like and the people there are so helpful. I have never come across one hateful comment. If somebody finds a problem with your article, you know, they message you and they suggest ideas or they suggest how to make things better, and it's just such a well-knit community. I absolutely adore everybody on it, so I do. And I've made some great friends out of it, you know, really have. But of course, that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for that encounter with Daniel Ricciardo that day. And, you know, I've tried to get in contact with him multiple times. I've contacted the team. I've even went as far as contacting his father, Joe's quarry in Adelaide. But I got no answer. Last year, when I was actually returning to Barcelona for the Grand Prix, I did up a little envelope and I left the article in it and a picture of me and him, and I managed to get it onto the table of the engineers, you know, on the pit wall. But you know, God knows if he ever got it or not. You know, I was hoping that maybe a mechanic would come across it when they were clearing up and hand it to him or something, but you know, maybe he does know, you know. But moving forward, I think one of the main motivations for me to get into Formula 1 journalism is to hopefully one day again meet Daniel and, you know, maybe get him in a corner or sit him down and just say, look mate, that encounter that day, you don't know what you did for me. You know, you practically changed my life. So you know, before that I was working in the local factory, and of course there's nothing wrong with working in a factory. I'm still doing it, and again I've made amazing friends in there, and I've always said in that particular factory I was taught more than I was ever taught in school about life and how to get on. But I was a guy at the time who felt like he had no purpose. You know, around then I was watching my mates and everybody I knew from school move on to college and move on to these cool jobs, and I just had a feeling that I'd never get anywhere in life until I met Daniel Ricciardo and started this. And you know, in the space of those 2 years, the opportunities I've got, the people I've met, the chances I've taken, the things I've done, you know, all thanks to this, was all down to Mr. Danny Rick, the honey badger himself, you know. And like I said, I just hope someday, it's an honest wish of mine to meet him again, get 5 minutes with him and just say, look man, you don't understand, I need to thank you, because, you know, you need to appreciate so much. And that main article that I wrote about him in Drive Tribe, the one thing that came across in the comments, which I thought was amazing, was people, just loads and loads of people commenting about their own experiences meeting with Daniel, and each one of them was different and unique and amazing, you know, typical Daniel Ricciardo. So yeah, you know, I am a major fanboy of Ricciardo after, because he was just incredibly down to earth and honest, and he is a fantastic guy. And like I said, I just hope someday I do get to repay the favour and show him, you know, I'm here today because of you. I'm doing this job because of you. You know, you started this all, you know. So that's my story. That's where it all began, on a bridge in the middle of Barcelona city 2.5 years ago, you know, above all places. But it's given me so much in life, you know. It's given me so much opportunities, and it's given me the ultimate chance to get closer to the sport I love. You know, sometimes I may curse out and say it's awful hard work when when you're coming in from an 8-hour shift in the factory, jumping into the laptop for another 2 or 3 hours. But at the end of the day, for the opportunities and the chances that become of it, I would not have it any other way. So I really wouldn't, you know. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed my story. Please like and subscribe down there. And yeah, I hope you keep up to date with my vlogs. I'm going to try and start make this a more common thing. Obviously as well on the page I'm going to be live streaming the SRL races as they happen. I hope nobody watched last weekend because it was an absolute disaster on my end. But you know, I kind of expected it because it was my first proper race with the rig, and I was hitting problems from the minute I set it up. It was shaking, the wheel wouldn't stay on, it just felt uncomfortable. But you know, we'll iron out all them problems for Bahrain next weekend, and hopefully we'll do a little bit better. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you really enjoyed it. Like I said, like and share and subscribe down there, please. It's been Colin Higgins on episode 2 of the Colin Higgins vlog. Peace out.